This is the necklace that we're going to make. It's made from 2 colors of super duos and 11/0 Toho seed beads. Best part is, it's reversible, and you can wear it on either side. And this is what the other side of that necklace looks like. Here is the necklace in another color scheme. It also is reversible. And this is what the other side of the necklace looks like. And here's the necklace made with just 1 color of super duo. So let's talk about the materials we're going to need. For this necklace, you're going to need 2 colors of super duos, 11/0 Toho seed beads, and 2 6 or 8 seed beads to connect the clasp with jump rings. So let's get started. I'm using a size 10 beading needle with 6-pound fire line. I've got about 2 meters of fire line, but I'm going to need more, so I'll connect another strand later. But 2 meters is what I can comfortably work with. So I'm going to start with a back color super duo, checking both holes. Both holes are open. An 11/0, a 6 or 8 seed bead, and an 11/0. And I'm going to string that on. I'm going to go back through all those beads to form a loop. And then I can tie a knot. Then I'll continue through that same hole, that same super duo that I started with. Next, I'm going to put on seed bead, front color, super duo, and alternate seed bead, back color, seed bead, front color, until I have 4 of the front colors on with 3 back color super duos in between, with seed beads on either end and in between them all. So there's 7 super duos on the needle, and I'll string that on. Then I'll go through that first super duo, same hole. Here's where I'm going to flip it over and go through the other hole of that same super duo, going the other direction. So I'm coming out this hole and I'm going in this hole. And here's where I can sort of fold in the corners of the back color towards the center, because that's how I'm going to connect them, going clockwise. Add a seed bead, go through the next back color super duo, add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, back color, add a seed bead, and go through the next back color super duo. Got my 4th seed bead here, going back through that first super duo. It kind of pulls all of those to the center. And I'm going to go back through the other hole of that same super duo. And here's where I can go through the next seed bead and super duo front color. So now I'm coming out of the front color super duo. Flip this back over. And now coming out of this hole of the front color super duo, I want to go through the other hole the other way. I'll add a seed bead. We can fold these in because that's how we're going to connect them in the center, but just so you can see where we're going, after I add a seed bead, I go through the next front color super duo. Add a seed bead and through the next front color super duo. Add a seed bead through the next front color. And one more seed bead back through that first one, the first front color super duo. So I've connected these all around, going clockwise. Now I'm going to go through the other hole of that front color super duo and the next seed bead. And I want to continue around. I'm coming out of this seed bead here. I want to continue around till I'm coming out of that seed bead. So I'm going to just continue going through super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. I'm going to flip it over to do that. So I want to end up through this seed bead. So I'm going to continue through super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Flip it back over to the front, and here we are coming down out through this seed bead. And this is where we start the part that's going to repeat. So we're going to add 6 seed beads, put that on, and then I start with the back color and alternate back, front, back, front, back, front till I have 8 super duos on. So I'm ending with the front color, starting with the back color, with a seed bead in between each one. So I have 8 super duos, and I string that on. Next, I want to go through the seed bead before the back color super duo and the back color super duo to form a loop. With your loop here, it's good to check that you don't have any thread gaps here. If you do get a little thread gap there, it's okay. You'll get a chance to close it up later, because you're going to go back through that eventually. Next, I'm going to go through the other hole of that back color super duo that I'm coming out of. And here is where I'm going to flip it over so that now I'm coming in at the bottom of the ring and going around this way. Coming out of this super duo, I'll add a seed bead and go through the tip of the next back color super duo. That should fold in. I can fold these other ones in just to see where I'm going. Add a seed bead, go through the next back color super duo. Going clockwise, add a seed bead through the next back color super duo. Add a seed bead and back through the first back color super duo I started with. And here, I'm coming out of this hole of this super duo. I want to go through the other hole plus the next seed bead and super duo. So I'm going through the back color super duo, the other hole, seed bead, and the next front color super duo. Pull that tight. Here's where I flip it back over and I'll go through the other hole of the front color super duo. I can fold these in now to connect those around the center, going counterclockwise this time. One seed bead through the next super duo. Seed bead through the next super duo. Seed bead through the next super duo. For my fourth seed bead, I want to go through the next super duo plus the next seed bead and the next super duo. And pull that tight so it's all together. Now I'm coming out of this super duo. I want to go through the other hole and the next seed bead, the next super duo, seed bead. So 4 total. So I'm going through this super duo and seed bead. And super duo and seed bead. So those series of steps that I did to create this section and a beaded bead, I'm going to repeat one more time. Again, I add 6 seed beads, string that on. Again, I add 8 super duos with seed beads in between, starting with the back color and alternating, ending with the front color. String that on. Then I want to go through the seed bead before the first super duo and the first super duo to form a ring. And we're good, there's no gaps here, so I'm going to flip this over to work on the back. I'm going to go through the other hole of that super duo. I'm coming out of this hole and I want to go through the other hole. And then I can fold in all the back color super duos to see where I'm going, because I'm going to connect them at the center. Add a seed bead and go through the next back color super duo, going clockwise here. Add a seed bead and go through the next back color super duo. Add a seed bead, go through the next one, add a seed bead, and go through the where we started, the first one. My thread's still, or my chain is still coming in from the bottom, and I'm coming out of this super duo. I want to go through the other hole the other way, and through the next seed bead and super duo. So now I'm coming out of the front color super duo. Pull that tight. Flip this back over. Now my my chain is coming in from the top. I'm going to go through the other hole of the front color super duo, and I can fold these in to connect them at the center. Add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, going counterclockwise this time. Seed bead, go through the next super duo. Add a seed bead, go through the next super duo. On my last and fourth seed bead, I want to go through the next super duo plus the next seed bead and super duo. And pull that tight. Now coming out of this hole of this front color super duo, I want to go through the other hole and go through the next 4 beads. So the super duo and the next seed bead. So they're going around the outer edge. And then the super duo and the next seed bead. So what I have here is I've kind of chained on 2 beaded beads, and after I have made 2 of those, I connect back to the one previous. So I add 8 seed beads, and I want to go down through this component, the seed bead, super duo, seed bead, and then all the way around and around this. So I'm coming down out of this seed bead, kind of like I'm coming down out of this seed bead. So 8 seed beads, and I'm going to start by going through seed bead, superduo, seed bead. If your needle doesn't go through all 3, you can go through them one at a time. Seed bead, superduo, seed bead. I'm continuing counterclockwise through the next 5 seed beads. Through the next seed bead, superduo, and seed bead. And my needle is starting with just the seed bead and superduo. So I'll go through that next seed bead that's in that component of the beaded bead. I'll continue through the next 5 seed beads. Through the next seed bead and superduo. And seed bead, whatever my needle will go through. And I want to continue around superduo, seed bead, superduo, seed bead, superduo, seed bead, superduo, seed bead, so that I'm coming down after this back color superduo. So to do that, I'm going to flip it over. It's a little easier to work this way. Superduo, seed bead, superduo, seed bead, superduo, seed bead, and superduo, seed bead. So now I'm ready to start my next section where I bead on 2 beaded beads and then connect it back through. I'm going to go through those steps one more time just to get the pattern down. Add 6 seed beads, string that on. Then I'll add 8 superduos, starting with the back color, alternating the front color with 11 seed beads in between. So I've got 8 superduos here, and I'm going to string that on. Then I want to go through the seed bead before the first superduo and that superduo to form a ring. We're good, no gaps here. And then I'm going to flip it over so that my chain is coming in from the bottom of the ring and go through the other hole of the back color superduo. I'll fold these back colors in. I'll add a seed bead and go through the next one, going clockwise. Add a seed bead, go through the next one. Add a seed bead, go through the next one. Add a seed bead and go through the one we started with, the first one. Pull that tight. Then I want to go through the other hole of that super duo and the next seed bead and super duo. Flip this back over. And so my chain is coming in at the top of the ring. I'll go through the other hole of the front color super duo, and I can fold them in towards the center and connect them around, going counterclockwise. Add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, add a seed bead through the next, add a seed bead through the next one, add my seed bead and go to the next super duo, seed bead, and super duo. Pull that tight to close it. Then I want to go through the other hole of the super duo, then a seed bead, super duo, seed bead. So 4 beads total. Starting with super duo, seed bead, super duo, and seed bead. I'm going to repeat those steps to chain on another beaded bead. Add 6 seed beads, string that on. Then I add 8 super duos with seed beads in between, starting with the back color and alternating to the last one being the front color. String that on. Then I'll go through the seed bead before the first super duo and that first super duo to form a ring. No gaps here. Flip it over to work on the back. And I'll start by going through the other hole of the back color. You can fold these back color super duos in to tie them together in the center. Add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, add a seed bead, go through the next, add a seed bead, go through the next, add the last seed bead, and go through that first super duo. Pull that tight. Now I kind of shift it over a little so I can go through the other hole of this super duo that I'm coming out of, plus the next seed bead and super duo. Here's where I can flip it back over. Now my chain is coming into the top of the ring, and I go through the other hole of the front color super duo. I can fold them all to the center. And tie them in counterclockwise. So I'll add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, add a seed bead, go through the next super duo, add a seed bead to the next one, and on my last seed bead, I go through the super duo, seed bead, super duo. And pull that tight to close it. Next, I want to go through the other hole of the super duo I'm coming out of, and the next 3 beads. So super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Add 8 seed beads, and I want to connect it back down through this side all the way around, and then around this bead to come out the bottom there. So I'm going to start, after adding 8 seed beads, through this seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Continue through the next 5 seed beads. Through the next seed bead, super duo, and seed bead. If it doesn't go through all 3, just do them 1 at a time or 2 at a time. Don't fight your needle. The next 5 seed beads. Through the next seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Going through the seed bead and super duo there. And seed bead. Now here, I want to continue around till I'm coming out of this seed bead down. So through the next 8 beads, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Turn it around to do this. Super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. And when I flip it back around, I'm coming down out of that seed bead, which is where I want to be to repeat the next segment. Each one of these segments is roughly 1 inch. So you want to continue this pattern to your desired necklace length. On your very last component, you just skip going through these last 2, you come out of here. So go through 6 instead of 8 on the very last one, and then I'll teach you how to end the necklace. And this is what it looks like on the other side, kind of reversible. So we'll continue and meet you at the end. As I was going through and doing the pattern, I ran out of thread, so I'm going to show you how I continue another thread. So I've cut another 2-meter piece of fire line, and the needle's at the other end. Just tie a square knot between the old thread and the new thread. And with these two ends of the knot, I take a lighter and I touch that end and touch that end. And now I can feel there's a little ball on the end. And so then I can pull this straight, pull the ends through, and now we have a knot that continues one thread to the other. And I can continue to my desired length. I've made my last beaded bead here, and I'm ready to hook it back into this one and go around and finish off the necklace. So I've got 8 seed beads, and I want to go through the seed bead, super duo, and seed bead of this component. So far I'm going through seed bead, super duo, and seed bead. And I'm going through the next 5 seed beads. Continuing around through the next seed bead, super duo, and seed bead, but going through the first 2. And the seed bead in this component. Then through the next 5 seed beads. And the next seed bead, super duo, and seed bead on this component. Seed bead, super duo, and seed bead. Now here's where I want to continue through around this edge, but instead of ending coming out through this seed bead, I want to end coming out through this seed bead. So I want to continue through the super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. So six beads total. Super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead, super duo, seed bead. Next, I'll add an 11-0, a 6 or 8 seed bead, and an 11-0. I'm coming down out of this seed bead, but I want to go up through the next super duo only. I want to continue through those 3 seed beads I just added, through the 11-0 and the 6 and the 11-0. And I want to continue through this next seed bead and super duo. This is pretty much finished, except for now I just need to weave back my, my thread through the piece, turn some corners, and tie a knot. So from here, I'm just going to go through the other hole of that super duo and seed bead and just kind of weave it around. Changing directions. Maybe I'll continue up through these beads I added. And once I've weaved back through and I've turned enough corners, I'm going to go ahead and slide my needle through in between these beads under the thread that connects these two beads. And I'll put my thread through the loop once, through the loop twice, and tie a knot. Now I just need to snip the ends of the thread and add the clasp. Here I've snipped the ends of both threads, and I'm ready to take my jump ring and open it, feed it through the large seed bead, add the clasp, and close it. The other side, I just need to open another jump ring and feed it through the large seed bead and close it. Now we have a working clasp. And the necklace is reversible. So you can wear it either with the back showing or the front showing, what we've called the front. You can wear it either way.